Hey, this is M from the 33 Secrets, and if you're currently in the friend zone with a beautiful woman who's in your life and you want to get out, then you'll want to pay attention today because I'm going to give you one secret trick that will finally get you out. Now, even if you're not in the friend zone right now, but you've been in the friend zone with other beautiful women you were attracted to, then you'll still want to pay attention today so you don't end up there again with the next beautiful woman you meet. Because getting out of the friend zone, while it's not impossible, it does require a lot of work. It's better to just not end up there in the first place, because the longer you're in the friend zone, the harder it's going to be to finally get out. So the first thing you need to understand is why she put you in the friend zone in the first place. And if you're like most guys, you're in her friend zone for the same exact reason all those other guys are in her friend zone. And that reason is you failed to attract her. But the question is, how did you fail to attract her? You know, was your game not good enough? Were you not good looking enough? Were you not tall enough? Believe it or not, it's actually none of those things. When you fail to attract a beautiful woman and she puts you in her friend zone, it's generally because you gave your power away too early. Now, even if you didn't say it directly, she felt it by your actions. The way you couldn't wait to return her calls, the way you started dropping comments on her Facebook profile, the way you started texting her and asking her out for dinners. One thing you need to understand is when you meet a beautiful woman versus an average looking woman, you need to understand you're dealing with two completely different animals. You're dealing with two women who grew up with completely different levels of attention and entitlement. For beautiful women, they grew up with a flood of attention from guys. They're used to having a flood of options for whoever they want to date. All right, so when it comes to attracting her, she can be a lot more selective than an average looking woman. When it comes to her filtering process, she knows there's high demand for her. And even if she kind of likes a guy, she thinks he's kind of cute, that's generally not enough to push her over the edge to actually go out with him, because she has so many options. She doesn't want to go out with a guy that she just kind of likes. She really wants a guy that she really likes. You notice that, beautiful women, the guys they date, they're not guys that they just kind of like. They're generally guys that they're freaking crazy about, that they're nuts over, that they just can't get enough of. With average looking women, that's not the case. Average looking women are generally, they don't need to be that attracted to the guy. They're just happy that there's somebody there for them. With beautiful women, because there's so much demand, because there's so much competition, and there's only so many hours in the day, and she can't take time to analyze every single guy because it would just take too long. The way she filters is she just looks at the majority. She just looks at the majority of guys in her life that she knows she can have at any time, that are always going to keep coming in her life, that are always going to be there. The majority are those guys that are in her friend zone now. And any guys that come into her life and try to pick her up and hit on her that look like that, that reflect that majority, that are nice guys and bring her flowers and just bow down to her beauty, those are the guys she just throws right in the friend zone, because they all look the same to her. That really is the majority. So now that she's eliminated the majority, now she could focus on the minority. Okay, she's going to focus on this very small percentage of guys, and it's usually, just a handful of guys that walk into her life that represent this minority that look nothing like the majority. They look nothing like the guys in her friend zone. They look nothing like the guys that approach her every day. They're very different. These are guys who don't compliment her. These are guys that don't, bow down to her beauty. These are guys who don't, feed her power. These are guys that, they can care less whether they get her or not. And for a beautiful woman, this is very attractive because it's not something she's used to seeing. And for a beautiful woman, this really in her mind is what represents what a man is. Okay, those are guys she's actually going to make time for, to date. Okay, that she's actually going to get ready for, that she's going to get nervous over, that she's going to get, giddy over. those are the guys that she's interested in. And those are the guys that I teach you how to be like, how to replicate. But since most guys are so used to dating average-looking women, where all they have to do is send a few text messages, say a few nice things, and they get her, they're often unaware that it takes a lot more effort to date hotter, younger, and more physically attractive women. So you need to understand the difference between attracting an average-looking woman versus attracting a beautiful woman. Okay, your method for attracting a beautiful woman is going to require a higher level of effort and self-control. And this is something you can start doing right now. You don't need to wait. You can start doing this right now, even if you're in the friend zone with a beautiful woman right now. It's never too late. Okay, that's the great part about being in the friend zone. You can always get out. Don't let anyone else tell you that once you're in there, that there's no way out. You know, that's complete BS. I've had students who've been in the friend zone with beautiful women for years. One guy was in the friend zone with a beautiful woman for 10 years. Okay, believe it or not, he was in there for 10 years. And, you know, after doing what I taught him to do, basically what you're learning in this video, the girl he was in love with, she was in a long-term relationship with a guy. You know, I think she was like almost in like an 8 or 9 year relationship with some other guy, and for a brief moment she ended up breaking up with that guy. Okay, and she ended up going single for something like 3 months. Okay, it was a very brief time she went single for. After being in this like 8-9 year relationship, she finally went single for like 3 months before she eventually married that guy. But during those 3 months, during that short 3-month period, my student was able to get himself out of her friend zone and actually start dating her. Okay, and he finally had sex with her multiple times, which he described was the best of his life, probably because he waited so long. Eventually, she ended up going back to her long-term relationship because her boyfriend at the time just completely freaked out because she was seeing, my student. And so he freaked out over that, and he didn't want to lose her, so he asked her to marry him. And my student could have held in there, okay, if he wanted to. He could have held in there, and she was willing to listen to him. She was willing to give him an opportunity. But he wasn't ready to get married, and he didn't want to be selfish, so he gracefully exited, and she married this other guy. But he was more than happy because he finally got closure with her. Having been in love with this girl for 10 years. And I don't recommend being in anyone's friend zone for 10. That's just too long. Life is too short. That's just ridiculous. But good for him, he got out. So if you're in the friend zone now with a beautiful woman, my one secret trick for you for getting out of the friend zone and never ending up in the friend zone again is to simply start doing the exact opposite of what you did to get into the friend zone in the first place. You want to start demonstrating self-control. You want to start demonstrating patience. Basically all the things that you should have done when you first met her, but you failed to do, so you ended up in the friend zone. You need to stop asking her out for a while, okay? And definitely, I know a lot of you guys do this. You want to stop trying to convince her on why she should be dating you. Stop hating on all the guys she's currently dating. Okay, that's what's really killing you right now. A lot of you guys in the friend zone love to do those two things. You try to convince her why she should be dating you, and then you hate on every single guy that she's currently dating. Stop, all right? Because you're really, really setting yourself back even more. Instead you want to relax, you want to strategize, and you want to start using the friend zone to your advantage. You want to start using it to just hang out with her, to get her comfortable with you, to get her to start investing in you. And while you're doing these things, you want to start giving her exactly what she's looking for, exactly what she's attracted to. A guy who doesn't compliment her, a guy who doesn't bow down to her, a guy who isn't afraid to challenge her when she says stupid things. These are the things that will finally get her attracted to you and finally get you out of the friend zone. Basically, to sum it all up, really, the one secret trick, all you're going to be doing is the exact opposite of everything you did to get into her friend zone. I mean, that's really it. I mean, it's not rocket science. So many guys want to make this so complex and, draw all these diagrams like you're trying to escape from Alcatraz or something like that. It's really not that difficult to get out of the friend zone when you stop trying to complicate it so much. Okay, it's really a matter of reversing the steps that you did that landed you in there in the first place. And in order to make this happen, you have to be willing to roll up your sleeves for a little bit, get to work, and start giving her those reasons she's looking for to see you as more than just a friend. Show her your value, have a great time with her, make her laugh, make her have the best time of her life without ever expecting anything in return, without doing it because you're looking for an outcome. Just do it for the pure enjoyment of it. Just be completely 100% outcome free, and just show her a great time and show her your value and give her those reasons to not want to see you as just a friend, to see you as more than just a friend. And believe me, she will take you out of the friend zone. She will come and rescue you out of her friend zone, and you will start dating her. You're not going to get her by being lazy and uncreative. You're trying to get a beautiful woman, the world's most powerful creature. You're not going to get her by, just by supplicating and begging and please, I'm so nice though. Why can't you see this? You're not going to convince her. You're not going to convince her that way. The only way to convince her is to show her. Give her those reasons, give her exactly what she's looking for. She's looking for a guy who doesn't do that. She's looking for a guy who will challenge her, a guy who will give her something to think about, a guy that she can chase. She wants to have some fun, okay? So you want to give her that experience. You can get out of the friend zone. As bad as it may seem right now, you can get out of the friend zone, trust me. It's just a matter of doing the exact opposite of what you did to get into her friend zone in the first place. And that's my one secret trick for you for getting out of the friend zone and never ending up in the friend zone again for the rest of your life. Doing the exact opposite. That's it. No rocket science. There's no complexities to it. It's just cut and dry. Stop doing what you did to land yourself in the friend zone. Back up, turn the other way, go in the other direction. I guarantee you go in the other direction, you start doing the exact opposite, she will become attracted to you. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets, and I'll see you in the next video.